With Liang Yue finally out in CN, it's that time again where I give you a full breakdown of the next 6 characters coming to the game, right up to the next Truelimited character, to help you with your polling plan. What you're seeing on screen right now is my general verdict of each characters, which I will go more into the details in a bit. This time around, we've got a new game mode, Rerun in the Reigns, which is currently the hardest game mode in the game, so utility and survivability are getting a lot more weight in these evaluations compared to the previous one. And without further ado, let's get started. Lopera from the second half of the current patch is a solid universal crit healer, especially for newer players. Her array provides a 40% crit rate to the entire team, with any crit rate above 100% partially converted into crit damage. She also buffs teammates based on their position, granting up to a 25% boost to their incantation might or ultimate might, which can last indefinitely. Her playstyle is super simple. Use her channeling skill on turn 1, her ultimate and skill 1 on turn 2, and then just repeat the ultimate skill 1 rotation every 4 turns or so, and you're set for the fight. The way her healing works is that she heals the lowest HP ally whenever she hits an enemy while holding any ammo, restoring 50% of their missing health. And thanks to her array's crit boost, her heal will crit pretty consistently, often topping off ally with a single heal. However, there are also some downside. Her healing is single target, which can struggle when used against hard-hitting AoEs. Plus, all her buffs rely on her array, limiting her compatibility with other array characters like Tuesday or Gutian. While Lopera is strong, we do have enough healer options right now, and with another healer Fatutu coming soon. She is not essential if you already have Willow, Tooth Fairy, and soon to be meta Sotheby. That said, she is a great pickup for newer players, and she will also likely become more essential in the future when ammo-focused carriers get released, as her array prevents ammo from being fully consumed. Next up is Willow, the new core DPS for the Poison team. To put it simply, if you don't have Tuesday, she is a hard skip. The Poison team without Willow can still function at about 70% potential, but without Tuesday, the team dropped to around 30%. Willow and Tuesday together are what make the Poison team shine, but out of the two characters, Tuesday is the must-have. Now, Willow's poison output is definitely far beyond what other characters can achieve right now. With the proper team set up, she can absolutely shred through high defense enemies and raids. However, it's important to note that the poison team as a whole is heavily ultimate centric. In stages where ultimates are countered, like those with Moxie suppression mechanic, the team's performance drops drastically. This makes Poison team less usable, if at all, in certain stages of Revelry in the Rain. There's also been some speculation about Noire, who is coming in the second half of this patch, and whether she might synergize with Willow or be in the Poison team. But based on what we have seen so far, Noire seems more likely to fit into a mono debuff or potentially petrified team with other Euphoria characters, rather than working with a Poison archetype at all, so it's very unlikely for them to have any real overlap. After Willow, we have Flutter Page, the small but very mighty Barcarola-like support. Flutter Page is all about buffing follow-up attacks, and she does it to an absolutely insane degree. Her kit revolves around building stacks of her buff as allies take action. The stacks then amplify the team's follow-up damage through her force field, and when you hit the milestone of 25 stack at the end of the turn, her force field evolves to the maximum power. At this point, Flutter Page grants 2% damage bonus per stack, with a total of 50% at 25 stack, and this stack actually maxes out at 50 stack. She also adds even more damage bonus based on the caster's crit rate and crit damage, and in most of modern teams, this translates to an additional 50% damage bonus. Lastly, with her max level force field, all the follow-up attacks from the team are also guaranteed to crit, which is a massive boost to consistency. What makes Flutter Page stand out compared to Barcarola is how easy she is to work with. She generates extra action for the team using her ultimate, and also provides one additional action point per turn with her skill, making it effortless to actually reach the 25 stack milestone with any other follow-up carry. She's especially strong with characters character that is focused on follow-up, where her buff can boost units like Andunala or Junyangzi to incredible heights. Next, we enter patch 2.4 with Barcarola. She brought a brand new system to the game called Impromptu Incantation. From a pure damage perspective, this system has a lot of potential, but it's also incredibly expensive to build compared to the more traditional teams. The main reason for this is that the damage from Impromptu Incantation scales based on the average stats of your entire team after buffs. This means you'll need to invest heavily in raising the stats of every single team member to maximize its damage. Barcarola's kit also heavily rely on pairing her with Voyager, specifically Voyager after her Euphoria upgrade. Voyager can mark enemy as the main target to resolve the randomness of Impromptu Incantation, and also turns the attack into AoE damage passively, which is invaluable for clearing mobs. While the system has potential, it's still incomplete and feels like it's waiting for future character to bring it all together. For example, I'm personally expecting Tooth Fairy to eventually get a Euphoria upgrade that will make her synergize with this team. For now, I'd recommend skipping Barcarola unless you're already heavily invested in Voyager. You can always pick her up on a rerun once the team is more fully developed. As it stands, the Impromptu team is promising, but not yet ready to compete with the top meta teams. After Barcarola, we have Fatutu, who is an absolute must-have in my opinion. Fatutu is similar to Flutterpage in that her debuff boosts only follow-up damage, but even if you ignore that part of her kit entirely, she's still an exceptional healer. Her debuff automatically triggers her skill 1 occasionally, which cleanses one debuff from the entire team while providing consistent healing. She also has great passive healing and generates a decent amount of Moxie on her own, even without needing to take much direct actions. Her skill 2 also is really useful, which allows the entire team to share the incoming damage in average. This is incredibly useful for countering heavy single target attacks and has amazing synergy with characters like Semawest and the Eternity Euphoria due to how they interact. Fatutu's combination of survivability, healing, and follow-up supports make her an invaluable addition to any roster. Even if you already have a well-rounded team, her utility will shine in harder content like River in the Rain. I strongly recommend picking up at least one copy of her, no matter what your current team setup look like. She is one of those characters who will make a noticeable difference when tackling endgame challenges. And finally, we have Liang Yue, the next Truelimited character. This might be a surprise for some people, but Liang Yue is not a must-have despite being a Truelimited character. This is especially true at P0. In fact, I'd recommend actually skipping her unless you're planning to go for at least P1. Just like the Truelimited character before, Liang Yue also brings something unique to the game. This time, her ultimate has card manipulation mechanic. Her special field given by the ultimate is able to either rank up the card when casted in it, or extend the duration of buff and debuffs applied by it. This includes things like Flutterpage's ability to increase the team's AP duration by 1. However, her kit is heavily ultimate focused, and she doesn't have any beauty Moxie generation aside from what you get at the start of the game. To keep her ultimate up consistently, you'll need to manage your Moxie very aggressively. Her ultimate says that it gives her the effect for 3 turns, but that includes the turns cast, which means you are only getting 2 effective turns out of it. This makes her rotation feels pretty clunky at P0. Her gameplay changes dramatically at P1. Her P1 extends her ultimate duration and increase the size of card enhancement field, making her gameplay much smoother and her damage more reliable. While her damage is decent at P0, it is nowhere near the level of other Truelimited characters we've had. If you're pulling for Liang Yue, I highly recommend planning for P1 as minimum. Her ideal portraits are P1, P2, and P5 for maximum effectiveness. Now, let's talk about the Euphoria rerun banners, which start in patch 2.3. Euphoria are additional upgrades for older characters that significantly change how they work and often bring them back into the meta. For veteran players, this banner might not be all that exciting since you'll probably already own most of these characters from the past pulls. However, for newer players, they can be worth considering, especially if you're looking for round out your team or build specific setups. For example, Sotheby becomes an incredibly strong pick for Poison team with her Euphoria, greatly boosting survivability. Similarly, Eternity has hyper synergy with Simwes, making her a fantastic choice for those looking to optimize that pairing. That said, I wouldn't recommend pulling for teams that rely heavily on everyone having their Euphorias. Euphorias are pretty expensive, and the team required too many of them are major resource sinks, and unless you're prepared to fully commit, they might not be even worth it. Instead, focusing on picking up key characters that can enhance your current roster, or focus on the Euphoria that's meant to be paired with the newly released characters. And that wraps up the breakdown of the upcoming characters and banners. I know there are a lot to process here, but hopefully this still helped you to figure out what's worth pulling for and what you can safely skip. Remember, Reverse 1999 is a game, and at the end of the day, it's all about having fun. Whether you're pulling for the meta or just character you love, the most important thing is that you enjoy the game. If you've got any thoughts, questions, or tips of your own, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if this guide was helpful, consider leaving a like or subscribing. It really helped me keeping up making content like this for you. And as always, this has been SteamBandX. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.